Boxing Team Media. We're with Coach Barry Hunter. Barry, big fight night's coming up. It's fight week. How excited are you for your man Gervonta Davis?
I'm extra excited, man. We were a little disappointed early on when Rolly fell out of the fight, for, the reasons that we all know now. But nevertheless, Mr. Cruz stepped up, and I'm just elated that the fight is still on.
Does it make much of a difference, the fact that you're going from a guy that was a lot taller than Gervonta, and now you're fighting a guy that's really short?
Yeah, it's kind of a difference there. Gervonta is used to fighting people much taller than him for the most part. And this is the first time in a long time that I can remember, at least since the amateurs, that he's fighting somebody his height or shorter than him. So, yeah, it's a little different, but nevertheless, I think that we'll be able to make adjustments, whatever we need to make along the way.
Has it been easy trying to keep Gervonta focused for this fight? Obviously, with all the back and forward and change of opponents, and obviously the initial drama at the press conference with Rolly.
Well, it hasn't been real hard. It hasn't been as difficult as I thought it would be. But nevertheless, you know how it is. You prepare for one thing, then all of a sudden, boom! At the drop of a dime, you got to prepare for. But this is boxing, and things like this happen all the time. It's not new. But for the most part, I can honestly say the transition hasn't been difficult.
What are you expecting to see from Gervonta Davis in this fight? Isaac Cruz looks short, stocky, and looks like he's coming for war.
I think Isaac Cruz is a formidable opponent. But nevertheless, we have all the belief and all the faith in the world in Gervonta and his ability and what it is he brings to the table. I think because of the styles of both fighters, I think it'll make for a good fan-friendly fight. And but nevertheless, again, I think that, of course, we'll be victorious at the end of the night.
I've got to ask you, the sparring with Shawn Porter, how much has that helped him prepare for this fight night?
And Shawn, well, everybody, the world know how rough Shawn Porter is, how rough he can be inside the ring. And a lot of times, even when he spar, Shawn Porter has never been no one's cheap date. And so even when you spar him, you got to bring your lunch, breakfast, and your dinner. So he did really, really well. Both guys, I thought benefited from that fight. From the sparring session, and it was a fun session to see.
Without looking too far ahead, I'm guessing the ultimate goal is pound for pound rankings. That may mean fighting on other networks. Is that the ultimate goal, or are you guys happy with how things are running on BBC?
No, well, of course, you want to reach as far as you can reach, and with him, the sky's the limit. I think a little bit more involved in what he does and really get the full understanding of what he can be, and he may be one of the fighters for the ages, man.
When can we see Gervonta Davis fight in the UK again? He had a great victory last time, 4th round knockout, I think it was. When can we see Gervonta in the UK again?
Hey, man, I've always been a fan of the UK. You know that since the Amir days. I'm not sure, but nevertheless, we would definitely love to, go and perform again in the UK, and especially with Isaac Dogbear as well, which was also in camp with us.
You mentioned Amir Khan. I'm going to wrap up on Amir. His fight's just been announced with Kell, Brook. How do you see that fight going?
Well, it all depends on. I hadn't seen Amir in a while. I just had a conversation with him as far as fighting is concerned. But I had a conversation with him in New York at the Garden in recent times, and I was happy to see him. And he was telling me then that there was a possibility that him and Kell Brook may be fighting. Both guys were, outstanding fighters, and whatever they bring back to the table, if they can bring any of that they once were back to the table, again, it should make for a great fight. And, of course, I'm a Amir Khan fan now, Love Kell Brook also, but as a fan, I want to see a great fight.
I was at the fight when Lamont Peterson upset Amir Khan. It was a great night for American boxing. What is Lamont up to these days?
Lamont's doing well. He's into the physical conditioning deal and clean living, that sort of thing. And but that night was a magical night. It was a historic night, and I was so elated that night, and I was happy to bear witness to it because these guys were, they wasn't old over the hill. They were young, and and they was at the top of their game, and that's what made for a great fight. And I always thought that one day they would, actually fight again, but it never came to pass.
Yeah, we remember the stories, the mystery hat man, the controversy.
I was waiting for James Bond to show up or something. It was so much, but nevertheless, man, again, that's the world of boxing we live in.
It is. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best for Saturday night.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.